I'm Brian, the Babyface Matroni. As always, we've got the Filthy Ginge with us and our incomparable host, Lummy, Flummox, Warren Garrison, the fourth.
Bubba had his microphone, his headphones turned down, and obviously mic 3, as we don't have anybody there today. Sorry, Brian.
I thought you were ready to go since the lights were on.
Well, Bubba never pods down his headphone.
Yeah, but a good host also checks all that, right? Before he starts turning everything on.
That's why I'm not a good host, Brian.
No, I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying a good host would do
Well,
that.
listen, also, we're live from Radio Row, or as they call it now, Media Row.
Media Row. They changed the name.
We're pretty much all on green screens right now. We're out in Media Row. We got some big-time interviews that might show up today.
Top secret location, obviously.
Exactly.
We can't have fans run up on us. It's kind of busy here. Been a busy past couple days.
Like LeBron, I wish I could just go out in Publix and go to a Starbucks or
Right.
a grocery store, and
Right.
I just can't anymore because the BTLS is just all over you.
Yeah.
Lummy, your mic's not on.
No, it's on. I was actually going back.
Jesus Christ, dude. Have you forgotten how to do radio?
No, listen. I learned from Bubba. Hold on.
Listen,
100%, guys. Yeah.
Hold on.
Listen, Brian. I don't know if you're up to speed, but he's still recovering from that grabber he had at Publix yesterday.
Yeah.
A
lot of food
health
prices were
scare for
going on, and
Lummy.
then I also stepped on a glue trap, so
Stepped on a mouse trap before the
I'm
show.
minus a shoe right now. So sorry that I'm a little discombobulated, and
You're a little flummox.
I'm a little flummox. Yeah, I'm flummox.
Yeah.
I know, but Brian and I had a good conversation before. USF basketball, which we'll be going to another game tonight. They play Memphis. They have a lot of talent. And I know we don't talk much about college basketball. We do talk a lot of football, but obviously the reason we talk a lot of football is because football is pretty much number one.
There's too much college basketball to talk about. That's the problem, is there's just so many teams to discuss. I mean, you've got so many storylines, that you can go down. How Duke's doing in their first year without Coach K, Houston and Purdue surprising everybody. Well, not Houston less so. You've got these teams that traditionally have been on top are not there in the top 5-10 teams. It's pretty shocking to not see North Carolina, Duke, Kansas slipping. You got a lot going on in college basketball. We're more than happy to talk about it, but part of the thing is none of our listeners ever call in and be like, hey, let's talk college hoops.
Which 813-90-BUBBA, 813-90-BUBBA. I mean, I think also another reason is a lot of people usually don't really care about college basketball until you get to the conference finals.
Yeah, the conference tournaments are when, people, the eve of March and into March Madness is when it really picks up.
And
What you're seeing, though, is that I think we really haven't seen in a long time is the parity, the level of parity in college basketball. I mean, you literally have 25 teams that could win the tournament.
Which is good for basketball.
But it's nuts. You normally see like 2 or 3 dominant teams in the past, and we've gotten to the point now where you look at the top 25, and there's like 20 teams with between 2 and 5 losses on the season. You're going to tell me a team like, I don't know, let's throw one out there, Gonzaga that's 19-5, or even a Baylor that's 17-6, that they're not capable of getting hot in March and winning it all? This is going to be a insane March Madness tournament this year. I'm going out on a limb and saying may not be the craziest ever, but it's going to be up there.
Or the Ryder Broncos, too. Don't forget them.
The Ryder
Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, 13-9, they'll probably make the conference. Maybe they'll be that that big time seed.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on Ryder. I've got my formula for picking tournament upsets.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Stonehill
teams with dominant mid conference teams, mid major teams with dominant big men, or shoot the 3 well. That's your formula.
To be honest,
dominant big men shoot the 3 well. If you have either of those, you've got a recipe for an upset.
And if USF can, start putting some games together, we have a guy that can shoot threes, and we do have a good big man. And Brian knows their names.
Got to be able to shoot. Yeah, Russell Chua is the center for USF, and then Harris is the point guard that can shoot threes. But then you also have, you've got Selton Miguel, you've got Keyshawn Bryant, you've got talent on that USF team that you're going to go see tonight. Take on Memphis at the Yuengling Center. If for anybody interested, I'm sure some good tickets are still remaining.
Yes, there are a couple left. You better get them quick. There's only a couple left, but
and Walker will be there. So if you want to go and hang out with Lummy and see little Walker.
Sorry,
and
we're going to be in
to
a very VIP area.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to be front row.
Oh, you are?
Row A.
Oh, well, there was a timeout. There's courtside and then there's row A.
Well, we're behind the basketball hoop.
Oh, okay.
It's where we sat last time. Not row A though, but
row A is too. See, row A behind the hoop is not ideal.
It's not too bad. From what we sat in D.
Kind of like watching a football game from the end zone.
But with I would say 7% of the court blocked because the basket and everything.
And then just the scrum in front of you. Yeah.
Well, no, we like
Usually
it because
you're below eye level.
Yeah.
It keeps Walker's attention, obviously, when they come down and score. And row A, we're not technically courtside, but we're up a little bit. He can stare at the cheerleaders, stare at the when they come down and dunk. And you know what? They were actually pretty cheap. So
no, of course they're cheap. They're USF, man. I got 103 for the USF UCF game for I think $10 each for my daughter, and it was third row, right behind the USF bench, like set off almost mid-court. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so see, exactly.
No, yeah, it's a good deal, but I prefer the side on basketball games, side view versus basket
I mean,
view.
obviously the side view is the the perfect view, but I mean for Wednesday night USF versus Memphis, go out with your kid and kind of maybe get some $10 tickets, $15 tickets. It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's a good time.
Exactly. And then, our other basketball talk, because we don't talk enough about sports. Kobe Bryant passed
away.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant passed away.
Breaking news. Kobe Bryant, and unfortunately,
he passed.
You mean LeBron James passed Wilt Chamberlain?
Wilt Chamberlain.
I wasn't even Wilt Chamberlain.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was playing on Lummy.
I know.
Hey,
that's how much I care about the NBA. Is that LeBron James, in my opinion, is a POS. I don't know how Brian feels.
Time out. We've talked about this on the show, but what makes LeBron James a piece of shit?
I don't like him. I don't like his attitude.
Okay, but what about his attitude?
He can't go to Starbucks in Publix. I mean, you're complaining about it.
He's a better human being than Michael Jordan. Let's be clear on that out of the gates. Okay, LeBron James is a better person than Michael Jordan.
But let me ask you this, Brian. I hate to cut you off, but does he do it for all the right reasons? Because that's the part of LeBron that me, as an incredibly casual basketball viewer, I just cannot stand. The air of self-righteousness that he puts around himself, and it usually seems, more times than not, I don't know, just projects himself as something that's bigger than what he is.
Look at the attitude. Hold on. Let's look at the attitude of the average NBA player right now. What did Kyrie just do? What did Kevin Harden just do? What has Kevin Durant done repeatedly? These guys are coddled prima donnas. They exist in a sport of such limited superstardom that the top 30 players in the league, for the most part, are all prima donnas.
And every single one of them has been in the league for a decade less than LeBron has. And I mean, it's tough to sit here and say that it's a generational thing and that LeBron is a product of his generation
because he's the first one. He was
the
first one put on that pedestal, and he was from the start of his high school career all the way through. I would say, quite honestly,
So you're telling me he is single-handedly responsible for the reason we all hate the NBA today?
No, he's not.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it sounded like to me, Lummy. I mean,
that was a good point.
The media is responsible for LeBron James. We are responsible. Everybody's played a role in creating
this monster.
It's not a monster, okay? He is a prima donna. I'll give you that. But he's a good human being. He's not a trash person. He's not out gambling and getting his father murdered. Like the guy that we all celebrate.
You can't prove that, Brian.
I can't,
allegedly.
and you can't not prove it. Lummy.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it's allegedly, Brian. Mr. Lawyer.
My whole thing with that, he didn't cheat on his wife like Kobe and get caught and have all that shit with him. I'm just saying is the LeBron James hate. You can hate him as a player, but to call him a piece of shit is a pretty strong indictment of the man
I will
himself.
Say, you're right. An attack on his character is not really what I'm trying to get at here, because for the most part he has stayed out of trouble. He's not like a guy. He's not a guy who's ever gotten a DUI. You don't see him in the news for having a rocky past with a couple of females or whatever the case may be. He hasn't been wrapped up in any situation like that. But in his mind, he knows that. And like he's just so corny. Like
I
just
it.
don't know.
I get it. You don't have to like his persona. I get all of that, but what he's done on the court is amazing, and
what he's done for community is
that's amazing.
Obviously,
And to me, those are the two things that matter, right? Those are the two things that matter. Has he taken hypocritical stances on political issues? Yes. Look past that. I don't look to my pro athletes for fucking political takes. Okay, I don't care what Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa think about anything going on in the world, because that's not why I watch them. And I can separate the athlete from the opinion. And if you aren't capable of doing that as a person, what are you doing? I mean, come on. That's not why you don't watch LeBron James because he has such a great view on the U.S. relations with fucking China.
No,
I don't like
but you watch him because he's an incredible athlete.
I don't like his
acting
exceptional
things.
I don't like his acting ability.
Well, and he's got a history. He's got a history of being inconsistent with some of the stuff that he talks about and pretends to know about.
Yes,
you know what I mean. The average athlete who maybe talks a little more than they should.
Yes. But it's that's the era that we live in. And so to say, Jordan, Larry Bird, all this, they weren't in a 24-hour sports news cycle. They weren't in social media. They weren't in a time where the players have so much control and influence over what happens with the sport. It's just a different era.
So let me ask you one thing, because we talk about eras, and that's a lot of the reason people don't watch modern-day NBA. With LeBron being the athlete that he is, and I believe, this obviously changes the conversation, because I don't like LeBron as, a mouthpiece. I don't like him on social media. He's annoying. When I hear his quotes talking about how great he is, it's a little annoying. But
let me ask you a question. By Ricky Henderson?
Huh?
Were you annoyed by Ricky Henderson? Were you annoyed by Bo Jackson?
I don't think he was alive, really.
I wasn't really around.
And another reason?
I'm upset about him. So, Lummy, how strongly do you hate Ricky Henderson?
Oh, Ricky Henderson?
Yeah.
I find him annoying. Now, he did not do what LeBron did and trademark Taco Tuesday, but I mean, come on.
Well,
when you're going to trademark Taco Tuesday.
When they play the clip of Ricky Henderson breaking Lou Brock's steals record.
Listen, he's a dick.
Lou Brock
he's a
was
dick
good
too.
At stealing bases, but I'm the greatest of all time.
Listen,
while Lou Brock's there watching you in attendance.
Listen, Brian, it's just like Pete Rose. They're all dicks. They're all dicks.
Isn't that my point? Where's the hate for? To that level for Pete Rose.
Hold on. Do you see Ricky Henderson getting like these big time commercials or doing anything?
I don't see Ricky Henderson getting the hate that LeBron James gets.
Well, like you said, it's a different.
Well, it's
era.
a different spotlight too. Yeah. But I will say this: the two things I really wanted to say. One, just a sidebar. I thought it was goofy that after he broke the scoring record, they basically stopped the fucking game for like 5 minutes.
Did you say the same thing when Drew Brees broke the touchdown record?
They never did.
They literally stopped the game and brought his fucking kids on the field.
Yeah, hold on.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. That's not because Mark McGuire, when he broke Roger Maris's record, they stopped everything.
It's just funny that It's just funny that they still ended up losing the game. But let me also pose.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't lose because of LeBron. Let's be clear on that. It's still a team sport.
They certainly didn't win because of him either, because it seems like he took a little bit of time off shooting at the start of the fourth quarter. I know he took a little bit of a break, but he came back into that. He didn't do shit.
He put up 38. He shot over 50% from the field. I mean, they
seemed like he was a little choosy with his shots when he could have played to win a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't watch basketball.
I mean, he was playing to break a record.
So,
let's be clear. He was playing to break a record.
With the athlete that he is, if he wasn't such a baby back bitch, could he succeed in the late 80s and the 90s?
Of course he would have, because it would have been a different time. He would have been harder. He would have had to play harder. It would have transformed who he was as a player. Just like Michael Jordan would not have been the player that he was if he played now. It has everything to do with the era. LeBron James is physically probably the most gifted player ever to play in the NBA. What he has been able to do with his body, his ability to play all 5 positions. Look at Zion Williams. Look at who was that Greg guy who fizzled out, who was a beast.
Greg Odom? No. I know who you're talking about. He's on the Lakers now, isn't he?
I don't know.
With
Anthony
the eyebrows? Davis. Yeah, Anthony Davis?
No, not Anthony Davis. The big. It may not have been Greg. The huge guy who looked like he was 50 when he was 20.
That was Greg Odom.
Anyways, look at these guys that their bodies have broken down.
Yeah, Greg Odom has his knee problems at Ohio State.
And look at Zion. Zion is built in the mold of LeBron James, and that he can't fucking stay healthy. He's out injured constantly. And so what LeBron's done, there's nothing that when you look at LeBron James's game to suggest that he would not have been an absolute dominant player in the 80s. Absolutely dominant, especially when illegal defense was a thing. Who's stopping LeBron James one-on-one in the NBA legitimately? Nobody at all.
On average, how much time does LeBron take off a year?
It doesn't matter. It's a different era.
It's a different era. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. We can talk about this. It's become the game. I fucking hate it. I don't like the NBA. I'm not sitting here saying the NBA is great.
So would you credit that to being something LeBron brought to the game since he was the first ever guy put on that pedestal? And
no, it's the progression
because
of
that's
the
a new
sport.
Era thing.
It's a progression of the sport. It's also a team decision. I mean, this is what happens when you devalue the regular season as much as the NBA has. That's the biggest problem, is the TV money and the devaluing of the regular season. 20 fucking teams make it into the postseason in the NBA. The regular season doesn't fucking matter. And when you do that, like the message to the fans is, don't go to these games. The regular season doesn't matter.
You can choose your games.
Exactly.
Well, and it's unfortunate because you hear more and more stories of like, we live in San Francisco, and I wanted to take my kid to a Warriors game, and we can only afford one fucking game a year, and the one game that we go to see Steph Curry, he's just sitting out. He's not playing tonight.
Well, unfortunately, that's how it is now.
So here's LeBron's career: 79, 80, 79, 78, 75, 81, 76, 79. I think he got injured in 11, so he only 62, but then 76, 77. Then with his back to Cleveland, 69, 76, 74, 82. It's been with the Lakers that, and later in his career, and COVID years are in there too. So I can't speak to all that. But him missing significant amounts of time did not start until 2018. 2019 season.
So
it's not, he definitely didn't invent load management. He was playing 76. That's a lot of games. That's playing most of the season.
No, that's fair. I'll give you that.
No, it's just because a lot of people compare him in the 80s and 90s where you would see every player pretty much go, unless obviously they were hurt or they would play through hurt, it would be 80, 81 games.
And these guys are getting minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like your stars were playing full loads.
Now, I know Brian will break it down and say that he's averaging the same amount of minutes, which it's correct. I mean, yeah. No, Brian's
like
correct.
How Tua averages the same air distance on
all right,
default.
let's go first caller, 239.
38 minutes a game, pretty much his whole career. There's a couple of little blips in there, but
Rhett's an asshole.
I mean, earlier in his career when he was young, he was over 40 a game, that's a lot of time on the court.
Yeah,
that's a lot of minutes. Yeah, a lot of minutes. 40. I mean, one season. I think his third season with Cleveland, 42 and a half.
Yeah,
but
he also did average the most.
That is a lot of time.
He averaged his most points per game that year too. 239.
Hey, yeah, I hate to side with Babyface, but because I was such a Jordan mark back in the day, but LeBron is just a beast. And the other record, he's fourth all-time in assists at the same time as now being the top scoring leader of all time. That's pretty crazy. I mean,
yeah, no, he's part of his luck, he hasn't suffered any serious injuries, so there's a luck aspect to it. But I mean, what he's doing this year, he's 38 years old, 30 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 50% from the field. I mean, this is not a guy that's out there, chucking up and shooting 40% and just taking such a high volume of shots. I mean, he's 36th in the league in field goal percentage, and he's not a post player where everything is, all of his offense is coming within 4 feet of the hoop, which is where you see your 50-60% shooters usually.
How many more years until his son is eligible for the league?
Bronny, I think, is in next year or a year after that, I think.
Is he?
So, I mean,
you think they're going to play together?
They're going to play together one day, but I feel like once that season comes, you think that's it for him with where he's at?
I think it'll depend on if LA is still, because clearly his game is good enough to still play in this league. I mean, at 38, he is still one of the 15 most dominant players in the game.
And as much as I want to dislike him, I mean, guys like that are good for the sport in general. You know what I mean? Without LeBron in the NBA, we're not sitting here talking about the NBA on the number one sports show in Tampa on Wednesdays at noon.
Sometimes. It depends on, realistically, I mean, let's be honest. We wouldn't be talking about the NBA right now, but because LeBron is now the new all-time scoring leader. I mean, that's realistically why.
Well, and
guys like that
LeBron
are good for the league.
I mean, you look at guys like Kyrie. What a cancer. And what a terrible person.
What about that trade, though? 2029 and 2030, I think it was. I was at my parents' house, my dad's birthday, and I see it go by, and I go, did that just say 2029 first and second and 2030? I'm like, they traded a draft pick 7 years away.
That's actually smart.
No, I know, but how ridiculous is that? You don't see in any other sport.
But you've got a malcontent on your hands. Clearly, that was the best offer they got, and so they took it.
And you have so much time to build resources around
or
that.
get those picks back from another team.
I know.
Picks back. I mean, have the biggest draft of all time. Your choice.
What I'm saying is that you don't see obviously the MLB
But here's the thing: when you have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic on a team together, you don't want next year's first-round draft pick or the year after that because that's going to be a high pick. But when you're playing 7 years from now, when Kyrie's probably not in the league and Luka might be not in his prime anymore, on the outside of his prime, that's a smarter time. That's a smarter time to take those picks.
Hold on. I'm not saying that it wasn't a good trade. When I saw it go by, I never thought I'd see someone trade for a draft pick 7 years away and not get anything before then. But our NBA expert is on the phone, Brian, 704.
Finally, a topic I can talk about, the NBA. Perfect.
Well, you only got a couple minutes left before we switch off because the NBA just is.
I think the Nets won that trade because they got Dorian Finney-Smith, they got Dinwiddie, and they got some picks, and they traded him away for a self-entitled AAU basketball player.
100%.
Sent him to Dallas. Bye. That was just the perfect trade. You're talking about LeBron and scoring. If you look at the points that Kareem had compared to LeBron got him by land, sea, and air. Looks like Kareem just got him by land and didn't take as many foul shots. But LeBron's a transgenerational athlete. He can get by with any physicality.
That's the thing. I don't buy LeBron couldn't have played. He's 6'9", 250. Are you fucking kidding me? He would have absolutely dominated the NBA in any era that he's ever played.
And imagine if he could be physical, because that's a big boy. He's like Rick Mahorn on steroids.
And here's the thing with Jordan. Would Jordan have had the edge that he had if he had come up in today's world?
No.
And
Jordan
that's the thing is,
Jordan had talent.
Jordan have been the greatness that he was if he was coming out of college in the year 2000 instead of 1983?
No, he would have signed a $30 million NIL deal and not be as motivated.
No, he would have went for 1 year.
I mean, and so it's not fair to say that argument to how would LeBron have played in the 80s and 90s in the NBA and not apply that to the players in the 80s and 90s in the NBA. How would they have played in today's game? Because Jordan was for basketball, he had a good build. He had that Kevin Durant.
He didn't get that good build until he kept losing to the Pistons, and then he built up his possibly stairway to run factor there.
Going to the paint.
Yeah, and then he started going in there.
And on the NBA front, with the games and the players missed, so the Hornets are playing the Nuggets this coming up Saturday night, and I made sure it wasn't a back-to-back so I could go to the game, because if it was, then I would know the Stars ain't playing.
There's going to be as many people at the Hornets game probably as that one time you went by yourself to the watch party.
hey, real quick, well, all those chicks were there, man. How could you not go? Remember that photo we saw?
Oh, yeah, all those chicks to the 15 and 40 Charlotte Hornets. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, they made the playoffs.
Yeah, they did. They snuck it.
They were third. They had 36 wins.
Okay, but I'm saying, this year they're 15 and 40.
In an 82-game season, man. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I would not.
We're getting Wembanyama. Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson.
I wouldn't even want to be a player playing in that game. I would be so unmotivated. I'm like, we're fucking trash. We're a trash team.
The Magic Sunday. We almost beat them.
Oh, wow. The Magic are 22 and 33.
The Magic are awful.
The Magic aren't even in the playoff hunt. They let 10 teams in each conference. It's horrible.
It's nuts, man. If you see that Magic team, I know the future and stuff, but seeing Bol, who's like 7'2", run to the rim and dunk and getting blocked, it's really incredible.
Is he still a toothpick?
Bol, he put on a few pounds.
Did he?
Yeah,
I think
even his senior year,
more than the rest of his body.
So real quick, your thoughts on the Australian Open?
Okay, so Djokovic had a torn hamstring. And he had a tear, and he just demolished everyone in that tournament. I don't see the only slam I see him not winning is going to be the French Open, and I think that's going to be pretty wide open because it's on clay.
The Spaniards are going to do well in that.
Yeah, and Casper Ruud don't have that dog in him. He's a friendly Norwegian, and he just doesn't have that. But I see Alcaraz coming back. Holger Rune, is a young guy from Denmark. I could see him doing well. But, the Australian Open was a great tournament. The American players still, we had 4 of them in the quarterfinals or the 4 of them or whatever. Problem is none of these Americans have the one go-to weapon. They're more mid-range.
Well, no. I wouldn't
players.
say none of them. That kid
You
from
want to debate that, Brian?
that kid from Florida has
who? Sebastian Corda?
No, the young kid from Florida. Is it Corda?
Oh, Sheldon.
Who is he made it to the fucking
Sheldon. Yeah. Sheldon. His dad's the coach at Florida University.
Yes, he has.
His athleticism is his strength.
So and his serve, he has. So he has the serve speed of Eisner, but
Listen.
the athleticism of Agassi. I think he is the only on hard court. He won't do shit anywhere else. But on hard court, he is going to be a constant threat to make it to...
Brian, I'll take you on the court, and I can serve like him. It's not that great.
Okay.
Telling you.
Okay.
Love you guys.
You're the
Talk to you
best.
guys later.
What's your
guys.
world ranking?
He's
My world ranking?
197th million.
No, I got 3 ITF points back in 96 or 97.
Oh, okay. I think they've phased out by now.
All right, thank you for the Kenneth talk, Hintar. Yeah. So, do you guys? There you go. Enough for basketball. Brian, I read. I'm not sure if you're much of a gambler, but do you guys ever do with the Super Bowl coming up Sunday? Do you ever do any of those prop bets?
I like the squares. I like doing the squares.
Oh, the squares. Yeah, I feel like everyone
fun.
does it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's
doing
fun.
squares.
Prop bets to me are stupid. Well, number one, they cap what you can bet on them for the most part. There's a level too of just knowing like. There's so much insider information. Like
the coin toss though.
The coin toss that's truly 50-50, right? But the length of the national anthem. If you're there at one of the sound checks with him when he's preparing, you fucking know how long it's going to take him to sing that song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to me, I don't like things that are fixed.
Oh, you mean like the first song Rihanna may sing?
Yeah, that's fixed. That's fixed. You're going to tell me that these sports books and things like that aren't going to have influence? They're sponsors now in these. That stuff can be fixed. I'm not saying the game's scripted like these morons are online. But that stuff is
What do you
fixed.
mean, man? Players coming out left and right, confirming the existence
Tons
of the
of players.
scripts. I mean,
yeah, I've seen a script actually. I had a game script. It's pretty amazing.
yeah.
Super
Wait
Bowl.
until-
They just leave those laying
So
around. Did you see
it's-
that? Did you see the image of the Super Bowl that got leaked supposedly?
Yeah, and actually third quarter, 6-minute and 37-second mark of the third quarter, there will be a streaker this year. So that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
That's in the script.
I mean, I'm looking at some of these. You got will Rihanna show cleavage? Yes or no? The shoe
What's the
color.
definition of cleavage? Like the top of her breast, the crack
Good
of her
question.
breast? I mean,
Good
that's what
question.
I'm saying. These are terrible
What
bets.
about shoe color? Does she wear a necklace? Is Jay-Z going to come on stage? Drake. I mean,
These are the things, though, that there are people that know these
People know
answers
this
to
ahead
the
of time.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, like
that's not betting.
It's yeah.
what about the Super Bowl Gatorade color?
Yeah, that's always fun. But somebody knows that, right? Like somebody knows
Like one of the
ahead
player
of
that's going to
time.
go grab it?
Yeah.
Or
Somebody's going to
'cause
call
there's-
their boy
But that's why
and
they
say,
limit
"Hey."
these bets to $50. Like you can't put more than $50 on most prop bets.
No. I mean, wait,
The coin toss you probably can because there's nobody knows what that's going to be.
Gronk's kick of destiny?
Yeah,
what the
Yeah, so
fuck
at
is that?
halftime, I don't know if you heard.
It's some USAA thing.
I don't know
Oh
if you
my-
heard,
No, I
but
did
some
not.
way, somehow, they were going to fit both an entire performance by Rihanna and some USAA Gronk field
Halftime's
goal
like
bullshit.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 25-yarder.
Is
he's,
it?
He's absolutely going to make it.
Well, because
Yeah, I
he
think
makes
so.
the field goal
he's
wide
an
left,
athlete. He's been practicing.
hits
I hope he
the
fucking
upright,
shanks it.
hits
I
the
hope
crossbar.
Lummy, I hope it looks like my kick at the Super Bowl experience.
Yeah, that was actually pretty bad.
Oh, and they gave me another shot, and I did the same fucking
Exactly.
thing. Like, I don't even think I could have done that twice in a row. if
Oh,
I
does
tried.
Gronk chug a beer on the field?
No. That's a bad look.
That's a terrible look.
Does he wear a shirt with sleeves
He's
or a
out
shirt
there
with
for like
sleeves?
a USAA sponsorship. He's not going to chug a fucking beer. What the fuck? Is Gronk going to do a line of cocaine as he comes out? Will he do a
Well,
keep
hold
up?
on. Cocaine's illegal. Not beer is not legal. But does he spike a ball on the field?
Take an
Does he
unmarked
spike?
pill.
Does he spike a ball?
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, because that's his big
that's
gimmick.
his thing. Yeah, I think after he makes it, there is a chance he spikes it.
What if he misses it? Does he still spike it?
No. You won't get a Gronk spike with a miss.
I know. You'll get a sad one.
No, you won't get one at all.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we are stuck with Gronk being in the media world unless Brady comes back. But
Gronk's a likable guy.
I hate him on TV.
yeah, he's
a likable guy.
He's a likable guy. You
He's-
wouldn't.
but
Hold
he's
on, hold on.
likable in
Real quick question:
moderation.
would you go party with Gronk?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Okay.
different.
Okay.
We're talking about TV though.
But would you want to watch, every guy that you party with commentate your favorite Sunday sport?
He's not calling the game.
No, but now he's at the table now.
He's not calling the game. He's never
but
going
he
to
is
call
taking
the
up
game.
more-
He could
he
be.
is-
Hold on. He could be Tony Siragusa.
He's taking time
He
away
is
from
taking
Jimmy
up-
Johnson.
Hold on.
Tony Siragusa was fucking funny.
He could
All
be.
right?
He
You don't
was.
think Gronk's funny?
Gronk's commercials are not funny.
No, his commercials. Tony Siragusa didn't have any banger
I
commercials.
don't think he's fucking funny.
Did you
I
not
don't.
see him at 80 on 80 or whatever
80
the
for
fuck?
Brady?
80 for Brady.
I
His
don't think
acting
he's
debut.
funny.
Listen,
I think he's
listen,
goofy.
I think as a goofy, fun sideline guy, Gronk is great. He's no different than Tony Siragusa. Tony
No,
Siragusa was funny
don't
because he was
disrespect
fat.
R.I.P. Tony Siragusa.
He was funny because he was fat. And,
No,
and
he was a funny guy.
And
Yeah, 'cause
Tony
he was
Siragusa
fat.
had a TV show where he would go
he
do
was much
man
more,
caves.
and
The
he was
goose
much
is
more,
loose.
and he was, and he was
Goose.
much more witty than
Yeah.
Gronk is. That's
you
the thing about
haven't-
Gronk
you
is that
haven't
they
gotten
fucking
to see Gronk as a
they
sideline
feed him
commentator.
softballs on TV because it seems like that's all he can handle. Every question they ever ask
Oh
him.
yeah, Tony Siragusa
every-
got a lot of hard hitting. Throw it
He
down
did.
to Tony. No,
How
he
about tell
didn't.
us about the time that you pooped yourself on the field?
I'm just saying.
And the
again,
white on white.
Again, you guys are being unfair. Again, you guys are being unfair and a little hypocritical.
Hypocritical,
Oh,
how?
come on.
Because you don't want to hear Gronk, but you were fine hearing Tony. They were both great players. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from Tony Siragusa.
Tony
but
didn't talk that much during the games because normally he was eating
how
or
much
drinking a
has
beer on the
Gronk talked
sidelines.
during the games?
He's a halftime show. He's taking time from Jimmy Johnson.
Listen, I'll tell you this.
Thank
Terry
God.
Bradshaw.
I'll tell you
Thank
this.
God.
A lot of
Jimmy.
my time outside of watching the game, like when it is halftime, when it is pregame, when it is postgame, I'm just doing other shit.
Yeah, you're getting food. You're making
background
drinks.
noise.
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski has taken up an unreasonable amount of background noise in my house, and I'm just over it, man.
You're letting him
because,
take it up.
No, I have no choice because
he's on
between
commercials,
the Fox
too.
pregame, I can turn that off, and then as soon as the commercials come on, the fucking USAA gets
And don't forget
3-4 plays cycle.
And don't forget the shoe commercial too.
Oh yeah, the one where he's an old man and then he rips it all off and
yeah.
fucking oh my god.
The Skechers?
Yeah,
it's like
no,
the Hey
no,
Dudes or
yeah,
something.
it's a better brand.
I don't know. I don't watch commercials ever, so I'm not like
What do you mean?
angry.
I
I
like
don't
you
either.
guys.
It's just
I
background
don't watch
noise.
commercials.
So when you're sitting there watching the game, do you
I
just close
turn
your
it
eyes?
on. I turn on NFL Sunday Ticket.
He
or,
closes
or,
his eyes, covers his
or-
ears, and goes la la
or
la la
if
la,
it's
la.
or if it's a Sunday night or Monday night game, I pick up my phone and I look at my phone. I literally don't watch
Yeah,
commercials.
but the sound
but
is
you
still.
I
hear
don't
them.
know. I'm a married man. I can block
Oh,
anything
my-
fucking out.
Oh, that's nice, Brian.
I'm just saying it's true. I'm a married man. If I
true,
don't want
Lummy.
to hear something, I don't hear it. It doesn't enter my brain.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, Gronk's not. I mean, whatever. Maybe when Tom Brady comes to Fox, him and Brady can make the greatest little duo together.
I'm just
Hey.
saying. Rob Gronkowski being on a USA commercial does not impact my life one iota.
It impacts Rhett's though.
Apparently, a
Yeah.
lot.
Just a lot
I'm
of
doing
background.
other things. I don't have time to hear Gronk in the background.
You see how Lummy started that first half of the argument on my side, and then you finally
hold on.
won him over
Because he
at the
realizes
end.
I'm right.
No, hold on.
Always.
I know.
He
Brett.
knows deep down inside
No, no.
that Gronk is just awful.
No, hold on,
Yeah.
Brett. What do you mean? I will sit here and agree. I think that he's awful on Fox. He's in way too many commercials. Like Brian said,
I'm just gronked out.
I'm gronked out too.
Because you allow yourself to be gronked to begin with.
But
I don't get gronked.
But I don't get pissed off. You said you get pissed off about it, so
Yeah, you know, Brett's clearly angry. He's like,
super
his
angry.
entire energy changed.
It is.
Well, when the Bucks are playing like shit this year,
And then you
it
got
makes
Gronk
football,
in the
it
end
makes
zone.
football Sunday a little harder to sit through. It's like I don't know if you've seen everybody posting about the Burger King commercials this year,
No.
but you just
Brian
watch
doesn't
your
watch
team.
commercials.
Yeah,
Watch
no
commercials.
shit. Never mind. I won't even tell the story.
Brian doesn't watch
Forget it.
commercials.
I'm not some tool to be sold to
Oh,
by
jeez.
the media. I don't watch commercials.
He's smarter than that,
Whenever
Rhett.
any broadcast ever goes to commercial, you just put your fucking
I
senses
pick
up.
my phone up immediately
Yep.
and I block it out. Now, whatever they're giving me on my phone, I have to watch, or ads and everything. But it's so quick to scroll by that you can barely be exposed to it.
So Brian's not a commercial guy. He's not a Jersey guy. We got it, Brian.
Oh, God, don't ever show me a commercial about jerseys.
There's a lot of NFLshop.com.
I wouldn't know. Don't pay attention
It's
to it.
true.
Wouldn't know.
No, but I do agree with Gronk is he's not good on the mic. Like during
But he's
the
vicious
halftime.
on the turntables.
Oh, of course. Yeah, DJ Gronk I would love to have at a table and also be betting with and gambling and partying with.
You, Josh Freeman, and Gronkowski just fucking doing all the blow and hookers in Tampa Bay.
I'm going to tell you something right now. That's a hell of a beer pong team right there. Josh Freeman can just be dropping dimes with those cups.
Too bad he couldn't do it with the football.
He could. He had a bad coach.
What do you know, it's 2023. What do you think year 13, year 14 Josh Freeman would have looked like in the NFL? He definitely wouldn't have been the scrambler that he was.
No.
Not that he was a scrambler, but man, he had some
Josh
mobility
Freeman. Josh Freeman was Josh Allen before Josh Allen. Okay.
I don't know if he was quite as
Josh
visceral.
Freeman. We're talking about the guy who had I think a 47% career completion percentage in college.
He didn't. First off,
He
hold
had
on.
a terrible coach there too.
He did, and he was only 19, 20 when he got drafted. And first off, he had no talent around him. All right, look at his wide receivers never went anywhere else to get anywhere. You didn't hear anyone like when Mike Williams stabbed himself in the thigh. Or Kellen Winslow, you didn't hear those guys go to any other teams.
Yeah, you're right.
See, I'm just saying, man.
He had washed up Dallas Clark.
Yeah. And Kellen Winslow, who was going to 2001
he
the night
wasn't
before
that
the
bad.
game.
He was 59.1%.
Thank you. In the big
But
Big 12.
here's the thing. If you're not throwing 60% in college, you're not going to be an NFL quarterback.
It was a different time, Brian. Different
No,
time. It was a
not
different
really.
time, Brian.
Not
Different
really.
time. Yes,
You're
sorry.
wrong, Brian.
He was, listen, and by the way,
44 touchdowns, 34 interceptions.
he was, hold on, that was his freshman and sophomore
no, that was
year.
his whole career.
He left early.
His whole career, 44 touchdowns,
many years?
34 interceptions.
How many
3
years?
years.
Yeah, that's not a full career.
44 touchdowns, 34 interceptions.
That's barely a rookie deal.
Those are his career numbers.
Yeah, well, you know what? Still was a hell of a beer
Sub
pong player
60%
and could drink with the
Hey,
best of them.
Hey, at
And
the end of the day,
that's
man,
what he needs
at
to
the end of
stick
the
to.
day, we can all agree on one thing. Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend,
He did have 20 rushing touchdowns.
Josh Freeman. I mean, look at that. Dual threat as it gets.
Had the most touchdowns for a quarterback until Jameis Winston beat him.
Sure
Okay.
did.
And then Quentin Flowers came in and said, "Hold my beer."
Quentin Flowers.
Yeah, USF.
Yeah, but Quentin Flowers isn't in the Bucks.
No, I know. I'm just saying. In college.
Oh, whatever. Listen.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Oh,
Okay.
whatever. That was sassy, Lummy.
It was
I like
because I don't
that
like you
little bit of
talking
spice
about.
on it.
Whatever. Don't talk about my boy. When was the last time you spoke to Josh Freeman?
What's it? 2023?
Yeah.
I don't know.
6, 7 years.
20. When was the last time he was in Tampa Bay?
2011, 2012.
Oh,
Oh, did you guys have a falling out?
No,
or?
he moved back to Kansas. For a while.
They don't have phones there. I forgot.
No.
Yeah, no, it's weird thing in Kansas.
I gotta talk to him. He's out of the NFL.
Scrub. You're not on my level. I'm the most over guy in Tampa radio.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's a scrub at that point, but he still is a stud. I mean, look, the guy could really sling the ball. You guys just hate on him.
I heard he slung his balls.
He did with a lot
right
of females in Tampa, but. Well, we have the Chiefs and Eagles, and it's kind of, and in my opinion, it kind of seems like a different type of Super Bowl. There's not really much coming out.
well,
There's not like a lot of big news.
it's funny because
Both teams are healthy.
know,
I know.
both teams are healthy, both are capable, and it's funny because I heard yesterday that a lot of the money, it seems like 70% is on the Eagles, and I hate to say
I
it
like
because
'em.
as a Bucks fan, as much as I hate to say it, I know we're not giving our picks, but like, how can you say it's not going to be the Eagles at this point?
This is the
They're
only.
just,
This is the
they're
only
just,
reason.
They're just better.
The only reason. Experience, coaching experience in big games.
Yep.
That is the X factor, and that is the one reason that I'm not like Eagles win this by 10.
Yeah.
Because on talent, on top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams, the Eagles are the far and away the better team.
Talented player is only going to take you so far. At the end of the day,
Coaching matters.
coaching is going to win
matters.
or lose you a
And
game like this.
Andy Reid is there.
Andy Reid is there. And so, because there are interesting storylines. I mean, Andy Reid, Philly.
Yeah, and Kelsey's, the two Kelseys.
I mean, you got the Kelsey brothers.
Bowl.
You've got the two young, dynamic quarterbacks.
Black.
I mean,
Hey,
you were
listen,
fast.
you know what?
I
I
mean,
give it to Brian that Brian
It's
didn't say
historic.
that.
I mean, I just think
He
they're
forgot
two
to mention it. It is
dynamic and
important. It
young
is the month of
quarterbacks.
February. I feel like respectfully we should make note that this is a historic Super Bowl in many more ways.
It is kind of crazy when you look at the NFL, though, positionally, and the success of African Americans in the NFL. Let's face it. And that this is the first time that there's two black quarterbacks playing against each other in the Super Bowl. There is a significance to that. It does not need to be a main storyline. It can be something that is mentioned in passing because it is something, right? Just like if we had, two quarterbacks that only saw out of their right eye. Partially blind quarterbacks. That would be, you wouldn't not talk about it.
Just colorblind. If Vinny Testaverde ever
two
made
colorblind quarterbacks playing.
10 interceptions.
Two left-handed quarterbacks.
But I gotta say, this does feel like an Eagles win to me. The only thing that's stopping me from going all in is the coaching and the experience. Mahomes is a big game quarterback.
And the offensive line, man. I mean, I know Chris Jones has been good. Defensive Player of the Year, but who's he going to go up against on that Eagles offensive line and not get worn out against? Like, I know he doesn't line up against the tackles very much, but they're going to send him outside every now and again. They're going to misdirect. They're going to send him on a stunt. And
Here's the thing, though, and this is why you can't predict a blowout. When was the last time the Chiefs lost by 2 scores?
No way.
It might be the Super Bowl against the Bucks. Yeah. I mean, it's
because that whole year they didn't.
They don't get beaten.
Listen, the NFL
they lose, but they don't get beaten.
Listen, the NFL is scripted, Brian. Okay, so they want Andy Reid to now play against Philadelphia, and
Andy Reid's going to play.
Yeah, he's gonna play.
Now did you
not see him punt?
That's some Vince McMahon
shit. Did you not see his punt, pass, and kick?
Andy Reid comes in and fills in on as offensive tackle.
No, he's gonna be a quarterback.
They need to put up a prop bet for how many times they're gonna roll the highlight from that punt, pass, and kick that he was in when he was 13 years old.
And he was bigger than he's size of Brian.
He's like 214 pounds.
So the last time the Kansas City Chiefs lost by double digits was Week 7 of 2021. They lost to Tennessee 27-3. Mahomes threw for 208, and he was their leading rusher with 35 yards. And then the other time, this is interesting though. Then this will tell you how this game could potentially go. The other time they lost by double digits, 38-20 to Buffalo. Mahomes was their leading rusher in that game as well.
Interesting.
So if Mahomes is their leading rusher, now it's not always because he was their leading rusher in every postseason game that they played last year. But that's not a good sign. If he's under 250 yards passing and their leading rusher, they will lose.
I want to jump off the Super Bowl because I know we're short on time today. Brian's got a lawyer.
Well, no, I just don't think there's enough for us to actually talk about for an hour and a half.
Gotcha. So I want to ask you about the Trent Dilfer comments and what your feeling is on that. Did you hear about the Trent Dilfer comments on the Aaron Rodgers? I know, former Buccaneer superstar Trent Dilfer on Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady when they were interviewing about the 30 for 30.
I heard some level of controversy about that, now, what was it, though, that he said exactly?
The modern day games. Oh, do you have it, Rhett?
The modern game does not impress me.
It's super easy when you don't get hit as a quarterback and when you can reroute receivers and when you can't hit guys across the middle.
I love Tom Brady. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love these guys. It's just not impressive. What's impressive is what old school quarterbacks did. Like old school quarterback Trent Dilfer, when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, I think he had, 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions that year.
Listen,
with a clean
stats
pocket?
Don't matter to him.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Dilfer is a tool. And
whoa.
What? He is.
He's a coach now.
Yeah, he's a coach. And what is he trying to do with this?
He's a super nice guy.
Hold on. What is he trying to do with this comment? Get you to mention Trent Dilfer and the fact that he's a coach?
I mean, this 30 for 30 is the only reason he was up on stage talking about his football career.
First off, listen, Trent Dilfer does a lot of things.
Where is he at? UAB?
He's a great guy. UAB,
yeah. So what is he trying to do? He's trying to get attention.
You mean that he's trying to get his attention?
I mean, Trent Dilfer, the quarterback who threw 113 touchdowns versus 129 interceptions in his career with a 55.5% completion percentage. He did have a winning record thanks to those Ravens teams.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend Trent Dilfer.
Yeah. I mean, he did have some bad years.
He was number 2 on the list, behind Josh Freeman for a long time, if I'm not mistaken.
If you take away 1999, 2000, and 2001, Trent Dilfer had a massive losing record as a starter.
Well, come on. I mean, look at those Bucs teams, though. I mean, who did he really have throwing the ball?
He was only with Baltimore 1 year.
Yeah, I know, 2000.
And he only played 11 games and only started 8 of them. and went 7-1 in those.
What about when he was with the 49ers? I mean, he did kind of,
Yeah, 12 touchdowns versus 11 interceptions. He threw interceptions on 5% of his passes. In his career, 4.1%. Now, I get what he is saying to a degree, okay, that today's quarterbacks are protected. And so the interception percentage is much lower than it used to be back in the day. Guys don't get picked off as much because of pass interference calls are called much tighter. So quarterbacks get bailed out when they do throw bad passes. But if it was so fucking easy, there'd be a lot of guys doing it well. And it's not so fucking easy.
It's also funny that he mentioned Tom Brady in that conversation. Like, Tom Brady didn't fucking win a Super Bowl in 2002, 2003.
Well, like, Tom Brady wasn't playing when he was playing. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he was winning Super Bowls the same time Dilfer was...
sucking it up on the field.
Exactly. So... It's just funny. Yeah, like Brian said, just a guy trying to make the most of his minute in the spotlight.
Listen, Dilfer made the Pro Bowl, boys.
If he can ride the coattails of his shitty performance on one of the greatest defenses of all time, then by all means, you don't see Jim McMahon out here doing that.
You're talking about the Pro Bowl right now? Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl this year.
But in 1997, it was way different.
Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
just let that sink in. And first of all, let's do away with the fucking childish games. Why don't we go back to real? So this is my recommendation to fix the NFL Pro Bowl. There is no game. None of this flag football bullshit. If you want to have that, have it. You have positional competitions where the winner wins $1 million fucking dollars. Period.
Well,
make it high stakes. $1 million to the winner, $1 million to the winner's charity of choice. You want to see guys out there, young athletes out there performing and trying to win? Put $1 million fucking dollars on the table.
Yeah, I mean, not only was I just watching fucking PE class for 2 days while watching the Pro Bowl last weekend, it really bummed me out. But again, like you said, Brian, you don't even have to bring the game back. That's totally fine. But I remember
I take
watching
Dilfer over Gabbert, by the way.
I still enjoy watching those early 2000s like quarterback pass competitions.
Yeah, those are the best.
They're the best.
Those were fucking awesome.
Why are we not doing this?
Leon Lett, doing
Why
225 or 315. Him doing like 30 reps on the bench press machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are we not doing this? Why is this not a thing?
Because they're babying the
why
athletes.
Are they out there playing fucking dodgeball and hitting, golf balls? Like, what the fuck?
It's kind of like the NHL, how that shit,
it was
that
so
whole shit show.
I watched it because there was literally nothing else on.
You're talking about Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
No,
Did you watch
I didn't watch
NHL?
a game. I didn't watch a game. I watched the competition.
Did you watch NHL?
I
watched the NHL skills competition, which is still fun because there's skill involved.
The other ones, the other stuff that they tried to introduce were just horrible.
What, the skits with the breakaways and
stuff?
stuff?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're trying to change that into
like SNL.
Yeah, they're trying to change it into the Pro Bowl.
Is this what the millennials want?
No, it's what ESPN wants.
But why?
No, because that's what they think people want.
Yeah. The ESPN is a Pro Bowl.
It's most of these people who are in charge of programming decisions and planning what's going to be put into this show and having the final say so.
You know what's safe, though, is having quarterbacks chuck the ball as far as they fucking can.
Having Jim Harbaugh, 50, 60 yards.
Who wouldn't want to see Justin Fields throwing Tua Tagovailoa throwing an 80-yard pass to win the longest throw competition.
Well, and the fun, you can have a little more fun with it too, because that's when you can start to involve maybe some older guys, right? Have a fucking 6-man tournament with retired quarterbacks.
Look at Jim Kelly and Dan Marino out there.
Fucking why not?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
if you're only
Jim Kelly
asking him to
maybe
chuck
not.
the ball 30, 40
how about
yards.
Trent Dilfer versus Aaron Rodgers in anything?
Right.
Yeah.
In anything.
Get Dan Marino out there.
Yeah.
And I think what bums me out the most is that, this is your fucking all-star game. Like, I would say when you have to rank the All-Star games, none of them are awesome, but like the experience of what All-Star Week is, the NBA probably has the best.
No, the the game is a joke.
Well, then the MLB.
MLB's game.
Okay.
Now I will say the overall weekend, the NBA is the best.
Yeah, because
slam
come on,
dunk,
like the fucking I don't watch
shooting,
basketball, but I love watching the dunk
The
contest.
NHL, this is the NHL used
but
to
even
have
the
the best.
NBA did away with the dunk contest
I
for a couple
know.
years.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, like
The
that's your
one
bread and
thing-
butter.
The one thing that people want, we're going to take it away from you. Like, this is how fucking tone deaf these leagues are. It's ridiculous. But MLB, the game, is the best out of all the products.
Because usually the pitchers are there. They're trying.
Well, they're not out there like throwing 80 over the plate.
That's what I'm saying. They're out there.
All-Star game is a joke.
I'm saying the MLB, at least with the pitchers, those guys literally want to just show off with the radar. They're hitting 99, 100, 101, and you know what? They're throwing it down the middle, and it's not a real competitive game. But you see the skills.
No, it always is competitive. Are
no,
you
but I'm
kidding
saying
me? What was this year?
2
to 1?
No. What I'm saying is that you're not going to get that super, really Pete Rose style trucking over.
They're not going to take out the catcher.
That's what I'm saying, because that's what always people say is the All-Star games back in the day used to be they were competing for something. But these guys go out.
Sean Taylor blowing up that punter
exactly
for no reason. He just killed the guy.
What do you mean? There was a reason.
What did the punter?
The punter did a punter sneak to try to get the first down.
Oh,
and Sean Taylor blew him up.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And then he jumped right back up and gave a handshake.
Yeah.
And then the guy was out.
That was fucking awesome. He got his ass whooped, jumped up, and then chased him down to give him a handshake.
And somebody's saying in chat, the home run derby, it's kind of fun, but it needs to be more fun. Do you ever remember watching, you probably don't, Rhett, because you weren't around for this, but they used to do in MLB offseason, they would do one-on-one player home run
the legends.
But they were active players at the time.
No, but I mean the legends. I mean, they.
But yeah, it was like literally like Mickey Mantle versus Roger Maris in home run. It was a televised, made-for-TV thing. That shit doesn't happen anymore.
Endorsed by the MLB or like kind of a one-off, its own.
The only sport that seems to do it is golf.
Yeah.
They used to do the only one that does fun shit anymore.
Like the match and
I think it technically was MLB sponsored, but it was usually the network, and it would be like Ernie Banks versus Billy Williams, and then they would do the '80s, and what did that stop? Like in the late '80s, early '90s?
It was like the '70s that stopped.
Did it? I thought it went to the
home
'80s.
run derby show. No. It stopped in like the 70s.
Well, and the only thing I think that might stop some more fun ideas like that nowadays is just how stingy some of these leagues are with their property rights. You know what I mean? Like, you remember back in the day when it wasn't just Madden coming out every year for the NFL.
It was 1960, and they did 26 episodes of it, and that was it. It was 1 year. Yep.
I always see it on YouTube.
Hank Aaron was on 7 times and went 6-1 in those competitions. For anybody who thinks that Hammerin' Hank wasn't one of the greatest hitters of all time.
Lummy's dad.
Who's ever said that?
Who did he lose to?
His one loss, I don't know. Let's see here.
Roger Maris.
I don't know. Mickey Mantle went 4-1 and hit more home runs in his 5 appearances than Aaron did in his 7. So he hit 44 home runs in his appearances on there. Willie Mays went 3-2. Not a lot of guys had winning records thanks to Mantle and Aaron.
Yeah.
They dominated that. But how fun would it be to watch, like, right now, it was taped in December or January, or even over spring training, Aaron Judge against Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Like a primetime special.
Yeah, and they should do it to get baseball, like, in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like, almost like a little workup. You got spring training, which people think, as you do, spring training's a joke, which I understand your opinion. But, like in that winter time, maybe like right now, before spring training, you get the guys to come out. There's really once the Super Bowl's done, there's really nothing. When you got basketball and hockey, baseball's kind of tuning up. But right when they start, you have like a mini home, like a beginning of the season home run derby.
Well,
and then have a hitting contest.
You do it like a prime time, it's filmed, it's over, it's in the off season. You don't reveal who won. You do it, no audience in the stadium, and you do it, undercover. You keep the results secret, and then you air it in prime time. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. And the players get money, their charities get money. It raises their Q score. I mean, it's a win-win-win.
I think you could do the hitting contest, like they do in Japan. Because, a lot of people are like, baseball players now, they can't hit to the opposite field and different things like that. You just, the super talented guys that could be like a Tony Gwynn. You know what I mean? I know Tony Gwynn's not around, but I'm saying like a hitter like that.
I also do get surprised just thinking about the idea of something like this in modern-day sports. I'm surprised that it isn't something that is done more. Because you talked about the one-offs with golf, and like I think about the match with Aaron Rodgers and Brady. Right, and all the ratings,
or even or even Tiger when he played with Phil, right? That's fun stuff.
But when you look at like just sheer numbers, like the Super Bowl this weekend is slated to be the most watched sporting event of all time, the most bet on sporting event of all time, and you got to think a little bit of that can trickle down to some of these one-off appearances that you're going to be doing with whoever the fuck it may be.
Well, wait, you know what
I
the
mean?
perfect time? The perfect time would be, you know that date? I think it's in February. I think it's when they do the ESPYs. There's no live sports. There's one day
it's that
a year.
fucking like that dead month or two between the start of baseball.
Yeah,
and,
in February,
Yeah.
and now they do the ESPYs, which who really gives two shits about the ESPYs? I mean, Brian, you don't watch the ESPYs, do you?
The ESPYs?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Okay, Rhett, do you?
No.
Okay.
It used to
you
be
do something
kind
like
of fun.
No, in the
but-
beginning it was kind of funny. You know, like
I
you see your
watched-
sports guys on there, but now it's just it's dumb.
I watched the NFL Honors, which is tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of that shit gets leaked like an hour beforehand on Twitter, so you kind of know all the results. That's where you find out NFL
Well, not
MVP,
if you just don't go on Twitter.
offensive, defensive player of the year.
I mean, if you just have some willpower and put your phone down for an hour.
Well, God forbid I have to watch some commercials for a
Well,
little bit. All right.
If it's your choice, if you want it surprise or do you want to just watch it knowing, like I could never watch an award show where I knew who won all the awards. Like, what the fuck are you doing there?
Well, I think the NFL.
You're watching the
I think
speeches. You're
NFL
watching the speeches, Brian.
I really don't care what the Walter Payton Man of the Year has to say. I
Yeah,
really
no
don't fucking
kidding.
care. I don't
the
care.
NFL made some scheduling changes, I guess. They don't record it anymore. They fucking started doing it live as they should. So that doesn't happen. Hasn't
They
happened.
said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live."
Exactly.
We'll do it live. God damn it.
That's right.
That's
Wow.
it.
I just think, like you said, they should do some more one-offs, and there's perfect time in that February, timeline that
The
they
dead
could do it.
zone where they can get these guys, put them up at a fucking luxury hotel in Miami, take them to that fucking ridiculous stadium they have down there. Nobody would be there anyways, so it's open. Real quick, let's get our Super Bowl picks in because it's the end of the show and the Super Bowl's this weekend.
Sorry, I went on the XFL real quick.
Well, you can't get a Super Bowl pick in by going on the XFL site?
No, I can.
We can. We can move to it, but let's get our picks
What's
in.
No, hold on. I
what's
just
the
wanna-
line? 1.5?
1.5.
1.5.
now.
Sorry, could I? Is the XFL starts February 18th?
Yeah. It's
Oh
quick.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so who you got, Brian?
I'm gonna take. I am torn over it.
I can see
It's going to be a tough one. I'm going to take.
I think it's going to be one of the best Super Bowls in a while.
I think it's going to be a damn good one. I'm going to take the Eagles by 2. I'm going to say 30-28.
30-28. Wow. Okay. Rhett?
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Of course, you're gonna fall, Brian.
34-31. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to go down, then I'm going to take Brian with
You
me.
said 31-41.
34-31.
34-31.
Eagles by 3. I think it'll be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be very exciting.
And Lummy?
Chiefs.
Yeah, well, why not be the
Yeah.
contrarian? You've got nothing to lose.
KC.
Somebody's got to win this week.
That's right. KC all the way, baby.
I am a little surprised at the line on this game being only 51.
Yeah, the over and under.
Yeah.
I definitely would.
I mean,
hit
yeah,
on
the over line. Yeah, I see there being offense. And even if there's defense, that will create offense.
The script said 37-34.
Yeah. Well,
What'd
That's
you
what
just say?
the script said. 37-34.
yeah, somebody leaked like a stupid screenshot of
Really?
a
No,
fi-
somebody leaked the script.
Oh.
Brian, that's what you're not understanding.
Oh, my
buddy.
pick. So my pick was on the final score was 38-34. KC
Oh,
by 4
sure
points.
It was, but
I already
sure
had it written
was.
down.
Sure
I've already.
it was.
That's why I asked you. You said 37.
But it's actually 37-34 with the
yeah,
Eagles
but it's actually
winning.
37-34.
I did 30. So mine
No,
is
37-34 KC on top is what the script said.
Oh, really?
I don't make the rules, buddy. That's just
Oh.
what it said.
Is that really what it said?
That's what it said.
I've never
37-34. Andy
seen-
Reid gets the
Oh,
win over
we
his
see who
former
gets
team.
an advanced copy of the script now, and
Yeah,
he's been
me.
holding out on us
I
this
should
whole time.
have. Shit, I should have went 37-34, but I got KC.
Well, you
I got
gotta make
KC
it. You
winning
gotta
by
make it
4.
obvious, right? Like back when you
Yeah.
copied homework back in the day.
Yeah.
Change a few answers so they don't know.
No, you just always do the right ones. You always do the right ones.
Always.
Always. You always get 100%. I'm sorry. I 38-34. In that opinion, I think all of us took the over. Yep, 50, 58,
Yep.
65, and 72 on my part. So yeah, I definitely take the over. The over is pretty. It is pretty low. 51.
I love how people are like, "There's no way the Chiefs can score 28 on Philly's defense." The fucking Packers put up fucking 33. I mean, you don't think the Chiefs are in the Packers zone offensively? Look, they played a Giants team that to get to this point, and I think the Eagles are an amazing team, but they played a Giants team that was completely outmatched and had no business being in the game against the Eagles, and then they played a 49ers team that was throwing out a quarterback who was needed surgery on the field, needed to have surgery,
Yeah, I mean,
and couldn't get it because the other guy got knocked the fuck out.
Literally a wounded animal back there.
I mean, they had no chance. They had no chance to begin with. Don't get me wrong. I predicted the Eagles would destroy the Niners, but they had no chance at all once Purdy got hurt.
Yeah,
It was pretty much over.
Hey, Lummy, I know it's a little early, but who's your pick for the XFL champion this year, buddy? And why is it the Orlando fucking Guardians?
I know. Listen, I'm looking at it now. Are you guys going to watch this?
The Vipers?
The Vegas Vipers. They took our fucking franchise.
So, yeah,
and
Orlando didn't take our franchise because the Guardians were what? They were Cleveland?
It was New York.
New York.
They were
Yeah,
black
New
and
York
red.
Guardians.
They were black and red, like one of the coolest looking teams.
Orlando took New York's team. Vegas took our team.
Yes.
And Arlington Renegades.
The Vipers are like the coolest looking team in the league now. Before they were the worst with the green and the lime highlighter yellow colors.
That's a cool look, man.
Now they're black and red, sharpest uniform.
No, I thought that the Vipers had the best looking uniforms in the XFL in the first go around.
They sure did.
They absolutely did, dude. You just don't like lime green.
Yeah, you don't.
I like the Orlando Guardians.
No, he doesn't
likes
like
red.
it because look at his fucking skin color. He can't pull off lime green.
You can't. You
No.
can't do lime green and pale. You got to have a
That's
tan.
it. You can't be a ginger and wear lime green.
Yeah.
That's it. Every leprechaun on the planet.
They don't
I
wear
mean,
lime green. It's
there's a
shamrock
little-
green.
there's a
It's
little- okay.
shamrock
Man,
green.
Brian got you on that one.
Their
Gotcha.
primary color wasn't lime green though. It was a darker green.
Man, we'll go lime green.
I mean, I know you're not a Jersey guy, but if you ever watch them on the field,
You just
know,
didn't
they had
like
a
it because when you
primarily
wore your
green jersey.
Vipers stuff, everybody tried to steal your pot of gold.
Try to take my lucky charm.
You just have a bumper sticker. Yeah, I don't know. Let's say the San Antonio Brahmas.
Why? Because that's the Rocks team.
Is it?
Yeah, the
Well, he's
Brahmas.
the fucking
dude.
Brahma Bull.
Yeah.
Fuck that then. I'm gonna
And
go.
the logo is like based off of his tattoo.
I'm gonna go with the.
None of us are cheering for Orlando, right? I mean, fuck that city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Houston Roughnecks.
All right,
I'm
that's
gonna
your
go-
team.
Yeah.
My team's the Vipers. I'm gonna stick with the
Yeah.
Vipers. No, you cannot copy me, Rhett. You gotta pick a different team.
Yeah. No shit.
No, I'll ride with the Guardians. I put it out there already.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, you guys are playing each other first week.
Yeah, we are.
Friendly wager on that
Oh
one.
yeah, right. Let's go.
Are we going to the game?
It's
It's in Houston, so
Oh,
but you
no
can
shit.
if you
No.
want.
No, we don't have to
At
do that.
8:30 on a Saturday. No, I'm good. Let's take this last call and then we'll jump out of here.
Oh, no.
239.
Hey, I'm just all. I was thinking Philadelphia was going to win. I was going to cover, but then I started reading that the last 12 teams that played the 49ers the following week they lost. Did y'all read that?
That's
No.
one of
Well,
those stats.
that's because
it's
hold
like,
on, real quick. The last 12 teams to play the 49ers were shit fucking teams. They weren't playing great teams at the time. Number one,
They had a harder schedule than Philadelphia, so
No,
I'm not sure where you're getting that, Brian.
look at the wins at the end of the season. Look at the winning streak that the Eagles played a more difficult schedule down the stretch than San Francisco
Well, you're
did.
saying down the stretch. I'm talking about the entire year. If you look at the difficulty schedule, the 49ers had an edge on Philadelphia. So I think you're wrong there, Brian. But anyway, I'm just
Where are
saying
you
that
getting
the
your
last
strength
12
of
games-
schedule? Hold on. Where are you getting your strength? Because the Eagles played in the most difficult
Google.
division in the NFC, and they play. So the Niners got to beat up on Arizona, Los Angeles, and Seattle, who were barely over 500, while the Eagles played 6 games against the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders. You're going to compare those two? I'm telling you right now, the Eagles have a better strength of record than the
I think
49ers
Seattle's
did.
better than the Commodores, Brian.
So Seattle's better than the worst team that the Eagles had to beat in their division.
Well, I'm not the one debating it. I've just Googled
No,
it.
you
and, that's
literally
what I
are
come up
debating
with.
it, and I'm telling
I mean,
you, it's not
several websites.
accurate. Look at the strength of record.
I know you got the bro love for Philly, but listen, the 49ers, I don't know what happened after 12 weeks. I mean, is there something to that? That's all I'm
No,
asking.
I will say they played when they were healthy. They played a very physical caliber of football. What they did to the to the Eagles 2 weeks ago was not slow them down at all. They didn't even represent
so
a
you
speed
hold
bump.
no credibility to those 12 games. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I think it's called a coincidence, and it's called playing in those 12 games. It's called playing, the Bucks, the Browns, the Seahawks. I mean, the teams that aren't that good in football. I think that has more to do with them losing
the playoffs.
the
Well,
following-
let's just say if there wasn't a cheap shot against Purdy, it would be a different story. I have to say.
Cardinals,
Yeah, that's right. Cheap shot.
Raiders,
Purdy-
Commanders, Seahawks. I mean, just a who's who of didn't make the playoffs in there.
Purdy plays the whole game. 49ers win.
Well, I'm not debating the difficulty of schedule. I'm just going by what the experts say, Brian. Obviously,
Who's the
you know
expert?
better
Who
than
are you
the experts.
quoting, though?
He said Google.
Google. Oh, okay.
Well, they do computer ratings. I don't know
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
difficulty
they got
and
these fancy
where they
computers.
rank and so forth like that. I mean, there's a lot involved in it. I know, but don't let facts interfere with your opinion.
Oh man,
Oh, man.
That's right. He just said it, Brian. You know what? You are letting facts
these fancy computer rankings
get
they
in your
ain't
way
wrong.
of your opinion, Brian.
Look at-
I agree with him. This is one of the best callers.
Brian, I ain't here to
every
Brian,
time
I
he
ain't-
calls, he brings really good
Brian,
points.
I ain't here to debate you.
And
but
you
this
are
is why
a Philly.
you're
You are
wrong.
you are a Philly bro, Brian.
You know me in the city of Philadelphia. Nothing but love for it.
Hey, and Filthy has definitely got some football knowledge, and I'm glad he's on the show.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad
More
to be here,
Filthy,
buddy. Thank
less
you.
Brian. Okay, hey, good luck on your picks. See ya.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, buddy.
So,
That guy's
Hey,
a great
Brian,
guy.
I ain't here
so
to tell
strength
you you're
of
wrong, but
strength
you're
of
fucking wrong, buddy.
strength of victory, Phillies is better. Strength of schedule, Phillies is better than the Niners. I don't know where he's getting his data from, but there's no metric.
Hey,
where
Brian,
the-
I think what you fail to understand is that from the very beginning of the season,
yeah, I got
it is the
Doctor. I got Dr. Phil talking me down on this show.
It is. Listen, I didn't call in a debate. With
I
you,
didn't call it a debate, but I'm going to debate you right
Listen,
now.
he
Since
brought
the
some
beginning of
strong
this-
points,
Since
Brian.
the beginning of
He
the
brought-
season,
he brought
what you fail to understand is that it is Niners versus the world, and that's what you're not taking.
Yeah.
into
Was he a
account here
Was he
when we
a
talk
big
about it.
Niners fan? Is
Yeah.
that
Yes, you couldn't tell.
But he called a couple when the 49ers played the Eagles, and he called you the Philly bro.
Here's what I want to tell you.
He's a great
why.
caller.
And when I told him that it was sorry, but it's going to be a beatdown. Yeah.
Yes, but you forget the Purdy was hurt. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well, if it wasn't a fucking
it
cheap
would have been
shot on
different.
Purdy
Yeah,
by them dirty ass birds,
the Niners would have only lost by 14 instead of 31.
The Purdy would have led the 49ers to the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Yeah.
Purdy
That's
would have
what
been
you're
in the
missing.
Super Bowl fucking dog walking Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Because the NFL already had it scripted that they wanted the Chiefs in it, whether it was 49ers, because Andy Reid, because he did coach for the 49ers, I believe, correct? Like he
Andy
was
Reid?
an assistant coach for the 49ers.
So the Niners,
so.
I'm on ESPN
think so, right?
now. The Niners played the 26th hardest strength of schedule in the league. The Eagles played the 23rd.
Niners versus the world.
And then if
I
you
keep
go
telling
strength
you that.
of victory, the Eagles were the highest. I mean, it's just I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, you're not Googling the right thing.
It is pretty amazing, though. We literally have a year where the two best teams are playing each other. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
that's-
doubt about it.
Yeah.
These are the two best teams in football, and they're going head to head. It's not one of those where we had an upset in the playoffs, and a team like should have been there, wasn't there. These are the two best teams in the NFL this season. Clearly, by record, by performance, by every metric, they are the two best teams.
Yeah, I mean, two quarterbacks that are back and forth on who's going to win MVP. I think they're going to give it to Pat Mahomes, but
We'll see.
yeah,
Mahomes
feel,
absolutely deserves it because Philly's a more complete team.
yeah, I do think this is exactly like what Brian said. It feels like the two best teams in the NFL are going to be squaring off, and I think it's going to be one of the better Super Bowls in recent memory.
It won't be like when the Bucs absolutely shellacked the Chiefs.
Right, and then
Or
the
shellacked the
Rams,
Raiders,
the
like
Rams
they
and the
did too.
Bengals, like that was a game that started off pretty good, but towards the tail end of it.
But did anybody really think the Bengals were the second best team in football that year? No. Nobody did.
No.
We didn't get the
Especially not after what they did against Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Giving up fucking, 10 sacks?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't get the two best teams in football last year in the Super Bowl, and arguably in 2021 when the Bucs beat the Chiefs. 2020 when the Bucs beat the Chiefs, you got the two best teams. You got the two best teams. So it does happen, but it is not often. It's not often.
Is Andy Reid Mormon?
There's more of him than there is of me. I'll tell you that.
Well,
There's-
but he just went to BYU, so that's why I was asking. Then he coached there for a year. I was wrong. It was San Francisco State. Not
all
the
right,
49ers.
guys. This has been fun.
Is there a prop bet on the kind of burger Andy Reid's going to get after potentially winning the
Yes,
Super
a
Bowl?
very big one.
Andy Reid gets fed like every 10 minutes.
I know.
You can't keep that Ruben-esque body and physique without being fed during mid-game.
All right, you know what? Let's not fat shame Brian. You're doing good until you started fat shaming.
Hey, some of the best NFL coaches in history are fat, buddy.
Andy Reid.
John Madden, Bill
John.
Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
He's portly. I wouldn't call him fat.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him fat.
Yeah.
Well, the average person who doesn't like terms like portly would call him fat.
Is Bill Belichick fat?
No. That's a horrible take, Brett.
Oh, Jesus.
To end the show,
Christ.
you're calling Bill Belichick fat?
Not before I called him the greatest of all time, but yeah, he's a little chubby.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
You have to disagree with you on that one, right?
I don't think anybody's actually ever seen his body. I don't think nobody knows what Bill Belichick
No, he's had
actually
shirtless.
looks like.
He's had shirtless pictures.
You got him on your phone?
Yeah, on the beach. Yeah. I got shirtless. Yeah,
All right,
it's
well,
my background.
send him on
Brett.
over.
Thanks. All right. You know what? Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the sports show.
Yeah, he's not fat, man.
He's not
got,
fat.
He's got a dad bod.
He's got a dad bod.
That, like,
All right.
According to
All right.
Red,
kegs
that
he's got that
yeah.
kegs
All
and
right.
eggs bod.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red just so I guess I'm obese and Brian's fat.
I mean, he's a little portly. He's a portly guy, but he's not
portly.
fucking in the same category as Andy Reid and
Yeah.
John Madden.
Yeah, no kidding. Who are you gonna put him with? The Eric Mangino or the other guy from the fucking Patriots? That was the head
Patricia?
coach. Huh?
No.
No, the old school guy, the offense coordinator, the white guy. Brian, you got it real quick? No, nothing. Eric White. He was also the Kansas coach. Fuck, what's his name? God damn it, Brian! You're supposed to know all this
Eric
shit.
White.
Oh my bad. Oh, thank you everyone for tuning in to the sports show.
Eric Mangini?
Eric Mangino. No, is it Mangino? No, not Mangino.
No, Mangino was the fat coach for Kansas.
The fucking
Yeah, I
big
said
man.
Mangino, but they also hired him at
Mark Mangino, but wasn't Eric Mangini, or are you thinking of the Ryan family?
No, fuck.
Charlie
he's a
Weiss?
Charlie Weiss. He also did he also coached at Kansas. But thank you everyone. God damn it, Brian.
Wait, you're like Eric, and it's Charlie.
I got Eric on my mind because of Red. Thank you everyone for
How about that
tuning
one
in.
offensive line coach for Cleveland a couple years ago?
Yeah,
So
but
Romeo Cornell.
Twitch.tv/TheBubbaArmy. We're live tomorrow, 6 a.m. Hopefully we hear about how great the Indian food that Bubba and them are having right now. And don't forget to check out our YouTube. All our videos are going to be uploaded because Rhett's the man. And Brian is gone. You can call him at Hunter Law. I don't know his number. He's leaving. He's got a cute shirt on. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.